I want I want it to become a thing where if you find this picture on the internet, you guys will automatically remember this fan fiction. That would be amazing. And I hope I didn't piss you off too much, Alien, with what I tweeted you. So. Link meandered around the castle, rather bored. It had been 2 weeks since he'd broken his arm. Every week he went to see the physician, since most Hylians possessed a tiny bit of inborn magic. The physician was useful because he could touch Link's arm and find out how to tell how well it was healing. Pretty sure anybody can do that. Well, pretty sure any doctor can do that. Like, you know, feel the broken area and be like, yeah, it's healing perfectly. It's not unique to Hylians. God. I'm talking like this is a real, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I read fan fiction and post it on YouTube, so that's 2 things. Anyway. Just today, he said that Link had no permanent damage from the blow to his head, and that he was fine. Zelda and her father were in some diplomatic meeting Link could attend if he wanted to. It was optional, but he'd been to one of those before and had just about fallen asleep. He was still feeling pretty useless, though, because he couldn't care for his son with the use of only one arm. Suimpo was helping out there. He went into the kitchens, got himself an apple and munched on it as he headed back up to his and Zelda's bedroom. At least he could eat on his own. Yeah. Unless it's a steak. You have to be fed food, Link. You're pathetic. Alright. Sorry, guys. Okay. After properly disposing of his apple core, he sat down on the bed and began undressing himself. He hadn't had sex in over 2 weeks, as he hadn't felt quite up to it. And now he felt like he was starved for it. Impa had just put the baby to bed, and Link knew that his son would be asleep for at least several hours. God, Link. Wow, I just read ahead. What a... Ugh. He managed to undo the knot in a sling with his right hand, grasping the bottom of his loose shirt. He pulled it up over his head and carefully withdrew his left arm from the sleeve. He pulled down his trousers and underpants and kicked them off as well. He knew that the meeting would be ending any time now. Link kicked the blankets back and laid back in his pillow, his left arm across his chest, still in its bandages. About 15 minutes later, no one else walked in that room. No one else walked in that room to check on Link. I highly doubt that. He closed his eyes and thought about Zelda. About 15 minutes later, Zelda came into the bedroom. "And what do we have here?" she asked, as she gazed at Link. "A man who's in desperate need of affection," Link replied. "Well, we'll have to do something about that," Zelda said as she sat down on the bed. About 6 weeks later, the physician placed his hand on Link's arm and said that the bones within were fully healed, and Link was happy when the bandages were taken off his arm. Zelda stood next to the bed, holding the baby, while the physician freed Link's arm from the splints. By the way, I'm sorry if you can hear the storm outside, guys. Should have said that at the beginning of the video, but yeah. I'd like to hold Evan. Wait, Link was happy when the bandages were taken off his arm. Zelda stood next to the bed holding the baby while the physician freed Link's arm from the splints and bandages. "I'd like to hold Evan," Link told Zelda. Zelda smiled and she carefully placed Evan in his father's arms. Link was a little clumsy with his left arm, but he managed to cradle his son in his arms. "You just need to work your arms some," the physician said. "Other than that, it's fine. Here, you'd better carry Evan. I don't want to hurt the little guy," Link said to Zelda. Zelda lifted the baby back into her arms and kissed his forehead. Link stood up and moved his arm around. "That's something I don't want to go through again," he said. "I mean, I'm an independent kind of guy here." Yeah. My ass. "Just be careful about flipping up into trees. You had me scared half to death, Link. What did you think was going through my head when I saw you lying there?" "Well, I'm all right now, and you still have me," Link replied as he put his left arm around her shoulders. He kissed her cheek. "You know, we're going to have to make up for some lost time in bed." What a fucking dog. Link lay on his stomach on his and Zelda's bed, his chin propped up in his hands, watching 9-month-old Evan as he sat on the pillow. "Okay, Evan, let's try it again. Dada, Mommy." "And I have a big feeling you're going to let me down." Evan just stared at his father. "Look, Evan, if your first word is Dada, your mother has to get up and feed you in the middle of the night for 2 weeks. If it's Mama, then I have to do it." "Come on, wouldn't you rather have Mommy feed you?" Link pleaded. "What are you doing, Link?" asked an amused voice. Link looked up, saw Zelda. "I was just letting Evan know who I am," he said. "Dada," Evan said happily. Link grinned. "Guess I get to sleep all night for the next 2 weeks," he said. He gazed at his wife. but I'm still willing to help. I'll be a good sport. No, you won fair and square, said Zelda. Besides, I'm used to it. Sure, asked Link. Yes, said Zelda, as she laid down. Itchy spider bite. Itchy spider bite. As she lay down next to him. Lay down next to Link on the bed and watched as the son played with the toy. What are you doing, Evan? What do you have there? She asked, gently grabbing at his toes. Evan looked directly at Evan and Zelda. Evan looked directly at Zelda and said, Mama, consolation prize. He knows who you are, said Link. I bet if you'd been in here earlier, you might have won a little bet. I think I need to move. Nope. 10 minutes into this video. Yay. That means more reading. He's smart. He gets it from me, said Zelda. And you still have some... And you still have some left to spare, teased Link. Zelda reached over and jerked his hat down over his face. Evan laughed at this spectacle. Very funny, Link, she said. Evan, your own son is laughing at you. I believe the score is 4-4 now, Link. Better step up your game. Link adjusted his hat and Evan pulled it back down. Thanks heaps, Zelda. Now you've got Evan starting in. Still, he had to laugh. Evan, you little traitor. He tickled the little boy's feet. Link and Zelda's second wedding anniversary was several months later. Like last year, a ball was held in their honor. By now, Evan was good at walking and getting into things. He was being watched by his grandfather and Impa while his parents danced together. Link pulled Zelda into a corner. Oh, there's my cat. I've got you something, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're wearing a green dress, Link told her. He reached into his pouch and pulled out a beautiful heart-shaped emerald pendant set in silver. Oh, Link, that's so beautiful. Zelda gasped as she admired it. Here, let me put it on you, my princess. Zelda held up her hair while Link carefully fastened the silver chain around her neck. Zelda had fair pinkish skin and the pendant made her look even more beautiful. The emerald was just about matching her green eyes. Thought she had blue eyes. Oh, thank you, Link. I love it, she told him as she threw her arms around him. Fucking storm. Anything for my princess, said Link. May I have this dance? Of course, my hero, said Zelda. From his throne at one end of the hall, Gepora looked at his daughter and son-in-law thoughtfully. I am trying to do a video, Thump! Every time I try to film, this is what he does. Every time. He interrupts it. He's a little douche. And I know he's doing this to annoy me, because I know for 100% I know 100% that he has food and water, because I just came from upstairs 15 minutes ago. Okay, he stopped. Great. Now I lost my fucking spot. Again. This video is terrible. From his throne at one end of the hall, Kapoor looked at his daughter and son-in-law thoughtfully. "I think tonight's the night, Impa," he said, as he held his grandson on his knee. "Link deserves it. He's a good lad. And he's good to my daughter and grandson." "I agree," said Impa. "And what better occasion to do it on?" "Well, there was his 19th birthday a few months ago." Kapoor shrugged. "I'd just..." Again with this. Whatever, I was only going to record for, 3 more minutes?